And we have to try and find the commonalities, small visualizations that bridge the kind of cultural differences between people. That can be understood, say, from the fishermen in Goa and Ghana to the stockbrokers in Mumbai and New York. So I've got some examples of icons which we've updated. You're probably familiar with them, but you might not be familiar with the work that kind of went on behind each icon. And if you could also kind of imagine that just for a minute you're an icon designer at Nokia, and we need to come up with an icon for gaming for Nokia. Which one of these 5 kind of examples of icons that we tested, which one do you think most resonates with gaming on a mobile device? You guys are too familiar with our products. This is good. Yes, you're right. They all actually resonated with people in terms of people understanding that they represented gaming. Some of the interesting findings were, say, with the tic-tac-toe and the noughts and crosses. This represented gaming, but also represented more traditional gaming, board games. So it didn't actually represent the more modern digital gaming. And then the next example, the dice, also was identified as gaming, but had connotations of gambling. So it didn't necessarily represent the wider context of gaming. And then the third example, the joystick, which was actually my favorite, kind of resonates with a certain age group, I guess, which I'm part of. Used to playing arcade games or Sinclair Commodore games consoles. But when we tested it, different generations reacted quite differently to this icon, so it wasn't as inclusive from an age group range. And then the final kind of icons we tested were around the joypad, and this was an icon that people felt represented contemporary digital gaming, which is kind of what we wanted to represent our devices today. So this led us to craft the final icon that we use for gaming today, which is the joypad. Another icon that we looked at was the contact icon. A phone book used to be a place that stored just telephone numbers, whereas the function of the phone book has changed dramatically from a place that just holds people's numbers to a place where you have all your people and you can choose the many different modes of communication by which you want to contact them. So who kind of remembers phone numbers these days or email addresses? It's all about contacting the person. So this is indicated in the change that we've made to the latest icon for contacts. So we've taken away the handset, which was more of a technological example of what you're going to be doing, and then we've put people at the front of what we're doing in contacts. This is also exemplified on the 5800 with the contacts bar, where we're putting people first. So on the contacts bar, you can touch the face of your friends or colleagues, and then you can choose the method by which you want to contact them. Another icon we did some research on recently was the maps and navigation icon. There were lots of different differences between cultures in terms of their relationship to maps as a physical object. Some of the findings, especially here in India, people were saying they don't only rely on maps, but they also use landmarks and verbal directions to find their way around. Also in China, people weren't as aware of the map as a physical object as they were in Europe or the US. This led us to kind of explore the compass as a symbol for navigation. The compass has been around for many thousands of years and was very familiar to everyone all around the world, so it became a clear choice. Another icon that uses a more traditional symbol is the music icon. It was quite a simple choice in deciding that we should use the musical note. Musical note has been around for many years and was very familiar to people. The challenge with this icon was actually, what do we combine with the musical note? And from talking to people around the world, we found that people consume music by different means and identify different things with music. Here in India, people were telling us that they consume music by audio cassette and CD. Whereas in Finland and Europe, most people consume music by CD. And then in Asia, the CD represented kind of free or shared music. We also found that there was a difference in how different generations responded to music, in terms of the younger kind of generations being more familiar with downloading music, where there isn't actually a physical kind of object to represent. Whereas the older generations were more familiar with consuming music on a physical object, like a CD. So kind of all these different factors were taken into constructing this icon. And whilst talking to people, we kind of became obvious that the CD as an object was actually something that people did identify with music across all the different countries and through the different ages. So this became the clear choice to put with a musical note. I think this icon would be quite an interesting one just to keep track on, in terms of kind of understanding how people's behaviours are changing, in terms of more and more people being able to download music and dealing with digital music. So hopefully that's given you a little bit of insight into some of the work that goes on behind creating some of the icons. And hopefully that demonstrates the importance that icons play in guiding us around our devices and services, helping us find new experiences and helping us to fully experience the devices and services that Nokia has to offer. Hopefully we've also demonstrated that updating this global language is a constant task. As people expand their digital worlds using their mobile devices, our roles as designers is to help them make sense of this and guide them through the journeys that they want to make. Going back to some of the everyday signs and symbols that I showed, I think the ultimate success of our icons over time is that they become almost invisible. It may sound quite strange for a designer to say, but a kind of happy place for us is when our icons become so intuitive, so instinctive, that you don't necessarily notice them. They become an integrated part of your everyday life. Thank you.
Thank you for this applause. Thank you, Rob. That was a fantastic session. And I must agree that if these icons weren't there, I'm sure my mobile would have been a mess finding anything and everything out there.